session. Mr. Chewer, call the roll.
Jared Cameron.
Here.
Ralph Lawson. Here. Ray Lyons. Ray is absent, he's due to sickness. Ms. Deeds.
Present.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Pierce is absent, he's due for his illness. Ms. Culler.
Present.
Ms. Collins.
Yes.
Mr. Acuff.
Present.
Mr. Jenkins.
Here.
And Mr. Arnold. Here. I'm Chris Shooter, Director of Planning and Zoning, Melvin Hayes. My Assistant Director, Jay Cook, my Code Enforcement, and Kristen Powell, my Stormwater 2 Associate. And then Diane County, of course, we have the Mayor here, Commissioner Preston Barnett, and Ed Friday, the Assistant. Mr. Chair, the first item on the agenda is the adoption of the. Who knows?
Make a motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? None noted. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Mr. Chairman, that's a unanimous vote.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the approval of February 2019 minutes.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Dr. Acuff. Seconded by Ms. Deeds. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? None noted. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Mr. Chairman, unanimous vote.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, Jack Hampton report, permit report.
For February, we wrote 20 building permits. We did 25 zoning approvals and 17 archive fees, which totaled $5,123. We also did 28 electrical permits, which totaled $2,265. We kept 140 of that local. And then our monthly total for the whole month is $5,263.
How much money we keep in debt?
That's what we kept, 5,263.
Okay, thank you.
2,125 for the state on electric permits.
Thank you, ma'am.
Motion to accept the report.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Miller, seconded by Dr. Acuff. Any questions, concerns? None noted. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Mr. Chairman, that's unanimous vote. Code enforcement report.
I got a brief report this time. We're going to start with one that Mel's going to talk about, specific construction that was done on Bob Little Road. Take it away.
It's a house one of the houses they moved from the airport. We've received a number of complaints on this over the last probably 6 or 8 weeks. I talked to one of the subcontractors multiple times. He had his guys clean up. They had pieces of vinyl, just all kinds of stuff blowing all over the neighborhood on quite a few different pieces of property. And I finally went up there last week and told them that they needed to get the property cleaned up. There was a trailer on the property. I put a stop work order on the property. Told them they needed to get cleaned up. They talked to the owner who is acting as a general contractor for it. He came to the office and told me that he had the property cleaned up. Had a trailer that was filled up about 3 feet over the top of it. Told him I wanted it off the property. He still didn't have it off. He told me he would go get it. I stayed late last Friday for him to go get, or last Thursday for him to go get the trailer. He called, I went and inspected the property, and basically all he had done was haul the trailer off. All the rest of the trash was still there. I had to call him, I had to go back to the office, call him back, and tell him that I was not removing the stop work order to get them to clean up the property.
What'd you say?
Well, he finally cleaned it up after I called him and told him I wasn't removing the stop work order.
Thank you.
We've got two properties that we're going to have stormwater issues that we're going to take to Josh this week. One up here on Judge Ben Allen Road, where we've got a driveway that mud is running off into the onto Judge Ben Allen. and one up here on T-Berry Road in Rome Mountain. We're gonna take those to Josh this week. I have a couple of pretty bad ones. Here is on Moreland Gap in Rome Mountain. This is one that's been in our office for several times, so we just went straight to a 48-hour notice, and if I haven't heard or see anything done at the end of this week, I'll go ahead and take it to Josh. There's some more pictures from it. Property here on Archway Court where a house has just kind of collapsed in. Dark Hollow Road in Rome Mountain had a lot of tires and cars that I saw on passing. One of the first months that I did this, I had 1900 Bristol Highway. I wrote them up for a trash issue. They cleaned it up and they have re-trashed it. And so I just went straight to a 48-hour letter, and we're going to take it to Josh this week, or with the next cases that go. And then, as far as what happened in court last month, we had 4 cases go to court. Go ahead now.
Had 5 cases go to court.
5 cases. Excuse me.
One on Howard Lipford was dismissed by the judge because they had cleaned it up. One case up on Bremer Road, the judge gave them 60 days to come back to court with a solution to get the tenant off the property and to have the rest of the heirs to the property in court. The other 3, one on the upper end of Stony Creek on Highway 91, one on Elizabeth and Highway out at the county line, and on Highway 321 beside Brown's Hardware. The judge gave all 3 of those 30 days to clean it up and have code enforcement or somebody in the planning office inspect the property that it is cleaned up. Of those 3 cases that the judge gave them 30 days, we have had no contact from any of them.
What did he tell me to do?
We'll take them back, we'll send them back to court after the 30 days is up.
And they are at risk of going to jail, having a lien placed on the property for the county to clean it up, or fines is what the judge decided on those cases.
Thank you.
With the properties in concern, the code enforcement officer, the 3, 1900
Bristol Highway.
Bristol Highway, Moreland Gap, and
The 2 stormwater.
and the 2 stormwater. Need a motion to send on to the county attorney.
So moved.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Mr. Chairman, that is unanimous.
Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen.
If you could please pass these down, and probably 2 per. 2 per class. Make it a little easier. Next order of business, Mr. Chairman, is the division of Dale Williams properties, 8 lots totaling 8.84 acres. On Bill Nate Luke, surveyed by Thomas Snyder Survey. I have Mr. Williams here for any questions. Water department's approved, also all lots been approved for 3 bedrooms.
How's the right away to it?
Right away is Bill Nate Luke, and it has a 50-foot right away there on their side of the property. I see no need to hold this up. Staff recommends approval.
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion was made by Mr. Arden, seconded by Randall Jenkins. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? None noted. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Mr. Chairman, that is unanimous vote. They were approved. If you could just pass these down, I'll get that, take it back. Next item on the agenda is my report. First thing I want to go over is building grounds, which you know, the last 60 days, or excuse me, 45 days, his request that we go back to the original form that we were several years back. The first concern was the Folsom House. The work's in progress right now. I have a contractor bid and the windows being replaced. We have some structural issues located in the Folsom House. We're working on those, myself and the maintenance supervisor of Carter County Courthouse and the mayor, and also a court situation there. Second is the courthouse security. Historical Commission's April agenda. We requested to be on that, to get that approved. City of Elizabeth is historical district. Working on that. I also have a meeting tomorrow morning with the annex, the situation on the cameras and other objects that have to be placed for the courthouse security and annex. Animal shelter, HVAC, we're waiting on a PO to be approved. We'll begin to tear out and work next week. We've got some structural issues there that's a concern. I have called in to speak with the A&E on it, and it's not returned the phone call yet. Final construction, we're holding money on the final part of building 3 and 3A due to the fact that inconsistencies in the construction and the format and layout. I'm still going through orders, change orders, things of this nature. That's where we stand on that. EDC, we're helping the county mayor do economic development now for Carter County. On the Snap-on project, we are on phase 2 of the Madison property environmental study. Other expansions for some other industries here. We're working with NISREP and Carter County tomorrow on that situation. As far as new construction, commercial, Dollar General and Fish Springs is under roof today. Probably looking at another 30 days until opening. We have another Dollar General was planning on just doing 80 at this time in the central community. Secondly, we're going to take basically as Jerry likes to call it, a field trip, preferably on the 15th of April, if all possible. I know there's a few of you that work. Today is a Monday, and oh, that is tax day. But also, we're going to spend from 9 o'clock for about 4 hours. We'll go right around to each individual area. We can pick you up when we get to your area. Preferably, I'd like to have you here. Mr. Arnie is volunteered to drive for us. If we can all stand the race car. But other than that, it will be all right. So we have the dates, the 8th, the 15th, and the 22nd. I think the 15th would be better for everyone that I spoke with so far. If someone can't make the 15th.
That's commission day, so we all need to be here.
Yeah, Ms. Collins, what's your schedule? I know
You're a busy woman.
She's got those little kids yet.
If you can, do it.
so everyone's good on the 15th?
Time to say.
9 o'clock in my office. All right. The next is the conceptual design approval for the Good Hall property. First slide, please. Okay, big question that seems to be everybody's mind. Where is this? This is on the old ground staff project. It's in between the two different properties. If you're from that area, if not, it's directly behind Deer Ridge Estates, and a portion of Deer Ridge Estates is also on the upper east side of the old Cove Ridge subdivision. Next slide. Conceptual design, if you look into the, oops, I just touched something. I just really went wild. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
My pointer didn't work too good. That's Highway 67 there. Carter Johnson County line runs down this ridge line and goes back down across where the old cell tower is and the beer store, M.L. Jack's place. That's where it is. The concept is to come in this area, come down, and the first part of phase 1 will be right in this area here. Next slide. Phase 1 will be a 22 room hotel. with also a restaurant, full-time restaurant in that area. Next slide. This is the bottom floor. There will be parking in that area. It's also all the service industry and things of that nature that goes with it. Next slide. First floor will have a 75 to possibly 90, 95 person conference room, and also the adjacent rooms for staying, and then office building or office rooms for the development itself, and then eventually 3 or 4 years turn into additional rental rooms. Next slide. This is probably the, I just touched it again, I apologize. This is the second floor, which will have a balcony, also looking over the lake. Every one of these rooms will have a concept of a lake view. That's looking west, northwest, down, or excuse me, west, southwest, down the Watauga Lake. Next slide, please. Conceptual view, the front is on top. That's what we saw by the lake. There's a backdrop of a mountain behind it, so it'll kind of be hid into the landscape. The rear entrance, as you can see on the rear elevation, it also shows all the balconies and decks from each one of the individual rooms, and also from the restaurant, and then the mechanical quarters at the bottom. Next slide. Next is the restaurant, which is here, and it's all on one page. Next slide. And it's basically a full-service restaurant. It'll have a balcony for the summertime. It'll have seats and be able to be served there. It also has a full-time continuous service there. It'll be enclosed, and that's all mechanical and food preparation areas also. And it too will be rustic and blended to the scenery. Next slide, please. And that is the view from the main conference room area back out across Watauga Lake. If you look, that's the big island that's right across from Fish Springs Boat Dock, on around and down in that corner is where Lake Shore is. You come around this point and come back into this cove, the Black Snake Cove, you're back into Cove Ridge Marina. You come on up lake, go around the Butler Bridge and go around Johnson's Point, you'll come back into Mallard Cove. That kind of orients you there. Next slide. And that's all I have for the conceptual view.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Drew, when's this supposed to start?
Well, we actually started this about almost 3 years ago. We've really been knee-deep into it for the last year and a half. LDA Engineering is handling all the engineering. Construction company, as far as the groundwork, will be Summers Taylor at this time. And as far as construction, horizontal, vertical construction will be Ferguson Construction from the city.
Okay, well, the first phase, what do you think they'll have it done?
The engineering is finishing up right now for the first phase. They're dealing with TDEC. LDA Engineering is, and also Brotherton Environmental for the septic sewer system.
Sewer system. Well, what about water?
Water looks like it's going to be coming from the Fish Springs Water District. That's being worked at this time. Hardview can't handle what they have right now, unfortunately. So we're working with TDEC on that situation there, and also with Watauga Regional Water Authority, who owns Fish Springs.
Are there going to be any problem with the right-of-ways going in and out?
I don't think there'll be any problems with right-of-ways going in, because the conceptual draw at this time, even if they're utilizing Cove Ridge Road and Cove Ridge Circle, there's less amount of traffic that'll be there than if it was developed as originally planned by the Atkins.
And that roof's going to go in and come back up the other side?
Yes, sir. And during phase one, we'll also be doing the final work on engineering work, and probably start on the horizontal work for the entrance from 67.
So when do you think this will be finished?
I would say probably late spring of 2020 before the phase one is completed.
What about the other things, prospect time or anything?
He'd really like to have it built out. Right now, it's looking at a 5-year process once construction starts.
You got the water, you got the fire department buffer in. And
Yeah, as far as working with the fire department, I spoke with the fire associations, individuals, and we're working on that. And really, it's just a conceptual design that we have right now. The fire departments, we'll be looking at that as we come into the play of the hotel, and there'll be some fire marshal stuff that we'll have to do.
now this is gonna be operated year-round.
It's a year-round resort, yes, sir. And basically what the resort will do is, you know, people will be coming there, they're not gonna have a boat dock there. It's not gonna be like some of our, boat docks where they have their camper there and they come in and stay. And, you know, there will be boats there that will be part of the project, but those boats will be basically tour boats or fishing boats if somebody takes them out. It's guided tours and things of this nature. If somebody wants to go horseback riding, you know, if there's a horseback place here, somebody wants to go kayaking, you know, we have all these kayak companies here, canoeing companies, if somebody wants to go trout fishing. So it's all around concept. It's basically an economic explosion for the area to bring people in, let them do and deal with our area. And it's regional. It's not just Carter County. This is going to touch Johnson County, Washington County, all the way through Virginia, North Carolina.
How far is it from there to you in North Carolina? That's right, closest thing. Then you got Johnson County, and then you got Aggie.
Right, so they're just all basically stone throws, you know, away from each other. So if somebody wants to go to Aggie and go to Barter Theater, or if they want to go to Jonesboro for storytelling times. I mean, so there's a lot of things, and they're getting their concept together, how they're going to handle that. The key concept here is when it's finished, you drive into the property. Valet parks you in a parking garage, and it's hidden from sight of the lake or any other individuals out there. Then you're transported in and around the resort, either by electric or propane operated vehicles, so there's not a lot of traffic running in and out.
Should be no eyesore.
No, there won't be any eyesore. Ken Ross is the architect, and he's doing all the developmental designs with Mr. Goodall and family, so everything will be squared away as far
Where's
as.
the gentleman? Owner, or where's he from?
Mr. Goodall is northern California. He grew up in Oregon, so like I said, I've been dealing with him for about 3 years now on this project. He owned a security company and different things. He moved to Houston, Texas. I guess after the big hurricane, he decided to move his family that was scattered all over the country. All 2 of his kids live here. He came in, he bought houses. You know, he moved his whole family here. They're in our school system. They're very well adapted. He's got a son that's getting ready to get married, and his wife and kids will be here. So, you know, he's invested in our neighborhood, so to say, in our region. So it's a big plus for the whole area.
What do you think it's gonna cost him to build this?
I would venture to say,
Maybe 5 years down the road.
minus the properties that he's already purchased, he's probably looking around 30 to 45 million. The infrastructure is there, the personal property taxes and things of this nature. You know, it's gonna be phenomenal for Carter County as far as what's gonna be brought in here on the tax rolls.
What about, is he gonna hire some local labor?
Well, he'll have to. He'll have to. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, he's gonna be building here for maybe a couple of years or 3, and, you know, we got labor here, we need to put them to work.
Oh, exactly. But, the impact as far as labor, this construction, I mean, it's gonna be phenomenal what will be done here. It's all rustic looking. So there's a lot of artisans and craftsmen that's local will be working there. On the construction end, then you have hospitality industry, so you know you're gonna have chefs and cooks and things of that nature, waitresses. You'll have a hotel, you've got all the staffing that goes with that. I'm sure the Goodall family will maintain the management of everything, but as far as the other paying jobs, they'll be local.
Does this board got any questions? You're ready to talk. I'll talk for you.
Well, I'm a little concerned about the roads going in and out. You're gonna have big heavy trucks going down through there.
That is no more than what you have if the original design of the subdivision, the Atkins originally was approved, and also the additional properties and amount, it's going to be less impact in that area. There will be some temporary problems. Summers Taylor, I already discussed with them, they're going to put a batch plant in the development, had it on site, so we're not going to have the concrete trucks running back and forth day in and day out. And plus there's, you're always going to have traffic. Every time there's a house built there, there's always problems with traffic. The last 28 years.
Well, I was leaning more towards food trucks and garbage trucks and that type of thing going into the resort also.
Right, and there will be some traffic, and there will be some hiccups. The way it's situated right now, with the general entrance, it'll be on Code Bridge Circle. The bigger half of Code Bridge Circle will not be cuts or impacted on those surveys.
But after it gets finished,
The 67 entrance will be the final entrance for all. So once it's open,
on the highway there at 67.
once 67 is open, the rest of the entrance into it will only be cursor areas. I'm sorry, sir, I did not hear you.
A road down to the lake.
No, he's not building a road to the lake. He has some lakefront property there, but it's not, it's part of the development, but it's not going to be developed other than the dock itself. And it's not going to be a commercial dock where you or I can go and park our boats. It's just for the resort itself, probably 6 to 8 slips at the most.
What Mr. Jewellers is saying, when he gets done, it's on the fence, he can come off the highway with the main entrance and everything.
So the public would not be able to pull their boat up and go to use the restaurant.
No. That's not part of it. That's a dock just for,
You better go through the PPA on that.
yeah, TPA, the dock handles all, or TPA handles.
We don't have that, we say, we'll work it out down the road here, down.
And the thing we've been working a whole lot on is the water quality going into our lake. And LDA engineering's been working for over a year on that, and there'll be, of course, there will be a solar pollution prevention plan for the whole development, which will start in the very near future. And we'll be working through all that, so all the permits are inbound at this time, whether they've left LDA engineering or not.
Will the restaurant be open to the public
Yes,
driving through all the way?
dry in, yes.
It's the nearest neighbor. Or church.
Nearest church,
Church or neighbor, both.
nearest neighbor to where the actual development would be is the house that was the Atkins that the Goodall's bought. That's the nearest home. The next nearest would be probably right at the entrance, this existing entrance into the area. There's several homes down there, but the way that Ken Ross has designed it, LDA Engineering and Goodall's, is that they'll be overlooking that, so when you're looking back, you're really not seeing it from your houses. Any other questions?
Mr. Mayor, you got anything to say?
No, sir, I was just excited about 500 jobs it's going to create.
Any questions? Somebody questioned me on that. There's also going to be a farm to table that he's looking at doing and working with UT and farming that out because, you know, it's going to be what you consider maybe a high-priced restaurant, nice sit-down restaurant, something like Steak and Ale used to be or something of that nature, or Peerless, another good restaurant. But it'll be somewhat similar to that, so they want to produce a lot of their own vegetables, herbs, and things of that nature, and hopefully eventually look into their own meat and things of that nature. It's going to be a really nice steak restaurant for the ones.
Any more questions on the set?
The entrance off the main highway, is that in phase 2? Or is that?
Actually, that's going to be part of phase 1, like 1A, it's going to be started, and they're doing the engineering right now. We found a better way that he owns, that he realized, so, they walked in 2 weeks ago, the engineering firm, LEAs, their survey crews come out of Knoxville, so they have to reschedule that, do some final survey work on that, and site lists, some things that need TDOS standards as far as interest.
Ms. Hunt, you got anything, honey?
Oh, no. Thank you.
You got anything?
I would like to speak just a little bit
Yes, sir.
to the opportunities
You got it.
for our community. Not only the jobs, but the opportunity for our colleges and community colleges to be involved in the hospitality industry. We've also got a number of kids that train with 4-H, would be certainly interested, like the kids at Omega High School at the Drop Farm, their beef program, as well as other growing opportunities that would fit this farm to table concept. I think it's a real opportunity for Carter County. I don't know where else we're going to come up eventually with 500 jobs. And the hospitality industry in itself is a clean industry. They're not going to be here polluting. I think meeting with Mr. Goodall and his family, his wife, great people, they want to keep it that way. And I was very impressed when several of us went up there, probably last year now, listened to their concept and talked with the architects and engineers. I think this is going to be a first-class resort, and I think it's something that Carter County should welcome with open arms and support. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I want to thank you for going up there. Anybody else got anything? Anybody out here? Gentlemen back here.
Good afternoon. I have a couple of questions. One is just, did anybody do a study on 321 as far as the traffic impact? And not just in front of where the complex is going to be, but from Hampton all the way up and then also...
Sir, can you identify yourself?
Sure, my name's Breck Menard. I live up on the lake. My name is Breck Menard.
Please come to the podium so I can hear you. I apologize, my hearing is...
Okay. My name is Breck Menard. I live on the lake, in the Little Milligan area. But I guess my concern is the traffic on 321. I drive on it quite often. So I was just wondering if anybody did a study to determine whether the impact of, I'm not saying 500 jobs are probably going to be at this location, but there may be 250. And 250 cars coming up 321 is going to be a lot more added to the road already. That's pretty bad. So that concerns me.
As far as 321, it is a state highway, and this is off 67, actually.
Well, I know that, 321 and 67 run together. So 321 turns off and goes to Boone, 67 goes across the bridge. So people are going to come up from Hampton on 321 and 67. That's where most of the traffic is going to come from. Some might come from Mountain City, but most of it's going to come on Hampton. So I don't know if you've driven that route very often, but I drive it quite a bit, and there's a lot of traffic, especially if there's trucks and semis, construction. So I just wondered if anybody look at that, do a study, determine whether they're going to widen the road, change it, make it safer. There's a lot of accidents.
That's a tricky question to ask our local state representatives to ask TDOT. But as far as development processes here in the county, we have subdivisions in that area also that have construction vehicles, and you have people driving up and down it every day. And I understand what you're saying about the big trucks because I drive it quite often myself. And what's bad is a lot of times 321 comes up on GPS when you're looking at the big screen way far out, and it's a straight road with switchbacks and things of that nature. But as far as the impact of this development, I think it'll be very minimal in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I kind of disagree with you there.
Well, that's what makes America great. You can't
That's just
disagree.
always someone that disagrees, right? Another thing would be lighting on the complex. I would imagine we're going to have parking lots and all kinds of lights up there. I just wonder how that's going to be controlled or maintained so that it's not going to be seen from, down on the lakes. We use that to look at the sunsets and stars and things like that.
Well, as far as the sunset goes, his property is above the rest of the homes that's there, so the sunset won't be blocked. There is a city overview district that we have, 3-phase within Carter County in planning zone, which I preached about this years ago. Most of you hadn't been sitting here that long. That will protect as far as the glass reflections and also the lighting of the development. Mr. Ross, who is the architect, is well aware of that.
I think that's critical for everybody to keep that lighting down to a minimum. I think it would be real fair to the community if somebody would take a look at and do a study on 321 on the traffic. And it's only fair, I think the people that are building the complex should be involved with making sure that it's safe, because they want to bring people in. Accidents, I mean, there's trees, I've seen trees fall down off that road on top of people. I've seen mountains slide down into cars on that road. So there are a lot of things that happen there, on a weekly basis, so.
Well, Carter County Commission has a highway committee, and they can go back and request the state of Tennessee Department of Transportation to do studies. And I'm not sure what days they meet on.
First Thursday of the month.
First Thursday of the month at the Carter County Highway Department. If you want to go and request that, that would be fine.
Sure. Well, I hope that Mr. Goodall, if he's here, would be interested in making sure that that happens. All right, thank you.
Come on out, Paul.
Mr. Hughes?
Mr. Pansall, can you help him through that gate right there, sir? No? Sure, Scott, that'll work.
Up this slope. Mr. Chairman? Yes. Members? My name is Bob Hughes. Approximately 40 years ago, this was the dream I had. And when I developed the planning commission, it was me and Chris Schuler put it in. And I introduced planning, and it was passed in Carter County. And this is the sort of thing that I dreamed of then, is developing Carter County into tourists. I knew then and know now, the future Carter County is on tourism. Manufacturing is not coming here. If it is, it'll be minor. And the top paying jobs are not coming because we don't graduate enough people to attract high paying jobs in the high-tech world. This sort of thing is what we need to look forward to and work hard if we can develop Carter County into a tourist attraction and everyone be involved in it. Each citizen ought to look forward to such a thing as that. Because that's the only way we're going to really help prosperity in Carter County. And I thank everyone here for their work, for serving on the commission, and being a part of this. I thank everyone. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Hughes.
Thank you, Bob.
Appreciate you.
Mr. Trapattoni, I think, make sure you put your hands on.
He's a good guy.
I think it was part of the boxing thing, yeah, you understand. Yeah. Hold on just a second. Can I have a list of individuals? We usually don't allow people to come up and speak like this. We have a public forum, you have to be announced. Who do you have there? All right, the next individual on our list, and I apologize for getting a little bit off course, is Miss Jean. Is it Trotman? Trotman. Please come up.
I'm too short for that, sir.
Well,
I'm too able to
the
kill.
mic will come down. Jay, please adjust that for us.
You just pick it up, man.
Just take-
Well, you can stand right beside.
Do I have to come up there? Can you hear me now?
Barely, I'm sorry.
Talk loud enough.
I got my off at 12 years of school. I never got up before anybody to talk.
Is that one?
Yes, I work here.
Yeah, that's.
Standing lady.
They're off because of that sound.
They're not on because
They're all off.
all the microphones are off because they're off. Yes, do you want to turn mine?
Can I?
The sound system itself.
My question, I can't stand it for anybody. I get really nervous.
That's fine. Can I have your phone number, Ms. Crockett?
I don't know it. I live alone, so I never call myself. 203-448-9263. That's my son. He bought me the phone for my birthday.
9263 now?
Yeah, 9263. My major concern is the impact for the sewer. If there is a break in runoff or if there's a break in the sewage, is it going to run into Watauga Lake?
Not if we can help that. That's one of the key concerns that we have with Tennessee Department of Environment and
Is that
Conservation.
in
Be
it?
looking at that, ma'am. Also, the county will maintain constant look in that area as far as that goes. The operator who will operate the sewer or the septic, depending on what we have there, will have to be formulated. Brotherton Environmental Engineering is doing the design work on that. They're also doing everything that's in the kitchen forge and not kitchen forge, Gatlinburg in that area over there, which had nothing at one time. And they're doing all those, so that they're well aware of what they have to do environmentally to keep it maintained.
Because I know according to the EPA, there is some kind of not chemicals, but all natural where it's biodegradable and it goes right back into clear water.
Yeah, Mr. Goodall's looking into those and he's,
Because I'm big on the environment.
right, and there'll be probably a gray water rejuvenation and stormwater retention there that will be used to maintain the flower beds and things of that nature.
Okay, is this the first opportunity the public has been aware of this? Because this is my first hearing about this.
The first initial rezoning request was back in September, and that was one portion of the property, and in December there was another portion of the property. It was notified in the public notices within the local paper.
Okay, see, I read it online, so I don't subscribe to the physical paper. And I'm back and forth from Connecticut to here. So anyway, but I was born and raised in Elizabethton. It's 70 some odd years ago. I love my town and my community, and I want to try to keep it as pure as possible. And I appreciate you listening to me and answering my questions.
Okay, is that the only question you have?
Yes, sir. That's if the environment's messed up, the whole thing is all messed up.
I agree with you. And if they decide to go with the biomass and the algae situation, I'll call you just so you'll know it's going on.
Okay. I thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.
Next is, I've got, are you on the list?
No,
What's your name again?
Jerry Eggers.
Go ahead.
I'm a little concerned about the traffic in the area. I know you say that it's on the circle, Cove Ridge Circle. It's being built off of that. I lived on the Cove Ridge Circle for a year, and my wife can attest to this. In driving up Cove Ridge Circle to where we were staying, she met a car at night. There's no way for two cars to even pass on that road.
That's why
And
code
she had,
is supposed to be one
and she
way.
had to back up, or they had to back up. She wasn't gonna back up in the dark, because there's no lights there. It's just, it's not built for traffic at all. It's an occasional car situation. Now, I'm all for development of the area. I think that's wonderful. I just assume that it not be a Gatlinburg or a Pigeon Forge, however.
Me too.
Thank you.
But as far as Cove Ridge Circle, that's supposed to be a one-way once you come into the intersection.
It doesn't say one way anyway.
I can't help that. That's our county highway department will have to handle that for you, but if that's another concern that you
Even
take,
if it is one way, it's a narrow situation.
I totally and wholeheartedly agree with you, sir. All right, we have one more individual. Hey, Jerry, Mr. Akers, do you still live on Cove Ridge Circle?
No, I live across the lake. My little house burned down 2 years ago when the storm hit the lake, my house was hit by trees and burned completely, but I rebuilt.
Now, you're on the, you're
I
on the
look
321.
I look right across the lake at this development, or this potential development.
We lived in Cold Bridge for a year though, while our house.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of,
I live between the,
you live off Cannon Road, right? Cannon Road?
yeah.
On the left, going back in,
Yep.
there's no way you can see this development from your house.
Well,
You're up high.
I can see the tower, I can see the road going up to, on Deer Ridge Road. I can see that road.
Because I remember when I was
up there, I can see
out
all that land where the future development is.
Okay, okay.
I'm not concerned about that.
Right, I was just trying to think, because I knew your face looked familiar, and I was trying to figure out where you live. But yeah, you're off the Hidden Valley on that. Yeah, so, that's what I was trying to figure out. So yeah, your house had all that problems, and then did get picked up, fire department couldn't get to it, which hopefully, the mayor's working real hard on getting a substation for the ambulance and fire departments on 321, so that's going to be a big plus here. So you see that come up, Cade County Commissioners help us out a little bit. The next individual we have is Jose Raquez. Did I say it properly? Velasquez. Come on up to the podium, young man.
So, my name's Jose, and I'm sure you've all heard, but I'm going to start a petition against this. And the reason I started this is because a lot of people I've talked to about, I've heard talk about this, is they're concerned about all the environment, how all that 130 plus acres of that is going to be destroyed. And a lot of people love that area, and they love how they can come there and relax and enjoy all this without all that heavy traffic coming through like a lot of people is concerned with. And the reason I started this is because I've lived there for 20 years and I still live there. And I love that area. I love how it is. I love being able to go out and know everybody, know strangers, know everybody that I look at is I know because I've lived there. And that's the reason why I started this. And I'm just wondering is, why did this come about? I'm sorry, I'm getting old. But I'm not so much as concerned with the 500 jobs getting produced, because trust me, I love jobs. I know jobs are a good thing, but who's going to be hired for these jobs? Are you going to be concerned with the hiring process, or is out-of-state people going to be hired?
Well, I don't think you're going to have out-of-state people coming in to do hospitality type industry work. You may have some management that comes from out of town, but I know management that left here who graduated, went to UT in the hospitality industry, and now they're living down on the coast. It might be nice for those individuals to come back this way. One lives in Dubai now, so, and their hospitality, so it might be nice for them. But as far as landscapers and yard maintenance and things of that nature, that's what we hear. As far as cooks, cleaning, all that, that's what we hear. I mean, nobody's going to go out for a job as a housekeeper that's going to be from California or from New Mexico or whatever. So I don't foresee that coming in. Management might be, but the majority of the Goodall family will be doing the management.
And another thing is, a lot of people are concerned with, she stated, the environment. Instead they're going to do 5 people looking to biomass. How is that going to be? How is that going to come about? When Williams knows what's going to be done to help protect the environment, because all this that's being destroyed in the environment, and that's what a lot of people care about, and that's why a lot of people come up here. How is that going to be preserved when all this is going to get destroyed?
Well, the first thing, you have Clean Water Act 1974 that maintains that you cannot destroy your subsurface aquifers in this county. Also, are within the United States, period. Then you have waters of the states, which is controlled by the Corps of Engineers. You've got Tennessee Department of Environmental Conservation, which everybody says EPA. That's really is handed down to Tennessee Department of Environmental Conservation. We have very good people that work there, very knowledgeable, and it'll be held accountable and held to all the high standards possible. So, I feel more comfortable with what's going in there now than the possibility of 200 homes in there. You have less impact, environmentally speaking, as far as the footprint, than what the homes would be there. If that makes, that good to answer your question.
And I have one more thing. What do you think about the 684 people I got to sign this?
I'll be more than happy to look at it. If you got the petition, I'll be able to take it, and I'll look at it, and I'll get it certified.
I got everything here, but this, I printed this morning, and I've got 120 plus more that signed it just since I printed this. This was printed at 11 o'clock, and right now I'm at 684, almost 700 people.
Well, I'll tell you what, when do you think it'll end as far as the petition?
I mean, it'll end whenever we all get a clear answer and how many people are against this. So, I mean, we're wanting to keep it the way it is. We don't want all this big development coming in. So as soon as we get a clear answer, it's never going to end. It'll keep rising.
Well, as far as the petition, I'll be more than happy to look at it and get it certified, what you have right now. I don't know if you understand the certification of the petition in the state of Tennessee. They have to be landowners / voters. And be more than happy to look at that, but everything that's happening now is within the realm and the scope of all the regulations, the resolutions set forth by the state of Tennessee and also Carter County. So basically, it's a petition, and I would like to answer each one of them if possible. I don't see that many people here, but this will be on our Carter County website, so we'll be able to see that. But like I said, I'll be more than happy to take your petition, take what you have now, get it certified, let you know how many people actually certifies. That could be marked as a petition, but as far as changing the rules and regulations, I don't foresee that happening in Carter County.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, what about all the people who are from this area? At least 75% of these people live in the Butler area, and they don't want to see all that destroyed because they love that view. I'm not saying that I want it to not to go away. I'm just saying, what about all these people like me who want to keep this how it is?
This view that you're looking at here, okay, there is another 110-foot hilltop behind it between it and Highway 67 and Giant Storm. So the only view that it'll be destroying would be the view from the lake, and I don't foresee that destroying because it's going to be more natural setting than, say, the big White House that sits off of Cove Bridge.
I don't see it's destroying to start with.
But I'm sympathetic to your views on that. I am. I mean, I own property right there. So, you know, if it's going to destroy anybody's view, it'll probably be mine. And I'm not really concerned about it because it will be tucked back in development. You know, so you're not going to see that much.
You live close to where the level's going to be?
I don't know, but I live right on the lake, so I mean, and there's a lot of people who actually live close to development.
Where do you live?
I live in Sugar Hollow, is where I'm from.
Up in Young.
No, he's in Sugar Hollow. That's
Yeah.
okay. That's where Sugar Cove is. It was developed. You know where Sugar Cove is down below where you live there? That's basically.
You're pretty long way away from that place.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I go here almost every day because I can get there, I can relax. I mean, I'm a college student. I love getting away from all the stress, and I can go here. I mean, there's trails, there's all kinds of hiking places up here.
Well, that's all private land.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know that, but I mean, the only people that I've been talking to or concerned with are the people that are gonna be out on the lake having to look at this though. And yeah, you said it's gonna be tucked back in, but at night when people's out there on the lake, there's gonna be lights and everything out there, so.
And all those have to be, the photo cells and things have to be, the direction of the looms have to be down ground point. That's why there's not gonna be traffic per se once it's finally done, coming in and out of there constantly. The only traffic you'll see when the final phase 3 and 4 is completed is going to the parking area, which will be from Highway 67, which the majority of that is on the other side. It is 500 Forest Service. Thank you, sir.
I just wanted to
But I'll be more than happy to take a petition and get it certified, that's fine. Mr. Mayor.
I'd just like to, I think some people may think we're going to clear cut all of this. It's not going to be.
You got your number on here?
No, I don't.
Just a minute, Mayor.
I just want the people for us, so I just, that's the reason.
You still playing ball?
I do not, I coach. I coach for Cloud.
Oh, okay, congratulations. Mr. Mayor.
We're not going to clear cut this land. This land here, it's going to be kind of like Gatlinburg. I was all over Gatlinburg. When they had the fires down there, we was down there like 2 days. I was all over the mountain. They cut out, you know how they do, they're just going to put a cabin here and a cabin there. They're just going to clear out enough to put the cabin. They're not going to clear cut this, that I foresee that. There's going to be sticking cabins in the mountains part, you know. The only thing be clear cut would be where the roadway goes, and where they set maybe the convention center or something, but where they put the cabins, I think they're just going to stick them in the woods. That's the way they used to get Burke Beach for, so.
The trees they cut down, will they replace?
Not really, but, you know, I'm talking about really cut down, maybe where they put the highway, the road through there, or.
But there has to be some impact on the trees too.
It probably won't be, Mr. Robin, it probably won't be as bad as the impact about 3 or 4 years ago when the.
I wasn't here and I was thinking that, I relocated.
Well, the impact of the storm brought us, if you're going back away from Butler, back toward the Butler Bridge, if you look across before you get to Horseshoe Cove on the right, look at all those trees now.
Yeah.
That was what this property looks like after that storm. The Atkins home, the whole roof was removed, several different pieces of property. My property across the way, I lost my whole brand new roof system and porch off my mom's house I was building. So, yes, there will be some minimum impact on trees, but the greenery and the environmental footprint will be a whole lot less than, say, 130 or 260 homes.
I understand, as long as they put something down to hold the land itself, so much.
Well aware of that, yes.
I'm sure they
All
are.
your environmental concerns with stormwater and things like that.
I'm very big on that. Question, thank you.
Might as well, man. Come on up to the podium.
It'll be quick.
I read that. We'll be going back over the rules. Yes, ma'am, can you state your name and your address?
My name is Sue Hart, and I live at 116 John Sheffield in Elizabeth. So my concern is the number of jobs that are being promised with this development. It's a beautiful project, looks like it's well thought out, should be gorgeous. I'm very concerned about the traffic and the environment and the water and all those things, just like everyone else. But what I keep hearing is 500 jobs. I think that's highly overestimated, because if you think about 22 units, how many maids need to be there, how many folks at the desk, how many folks in...
500 jobs is 5 years from now, when it's all said and done. And that's not only that, that he's already bought farmland to take care of his farm to plate restaurant. So, I mean, there's a lot of other things that's not even touching our county that is very close and nearby in Johnson County and other areas.
So it's all future phases. Did they estimate how many jobs were in phase 1?
You're looking at probably the max 50.
Okay, that's a much more reasonable number.
Yeah, 500, I mean, I realize what your concerns are, and that's just information that's been divvied out and people haven't clarified, so I hope that clarifies it more for you.
Yeah, it does.
And as far as the construction jobs and the revenue, that's what we're in, we're not even counting.
It's all incremental. Understood. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Wait a minute. Can you hold that motion, Joe? Yes. Can I have a motion for conceptual design approval for?
Second.
Got a motion by Dr. Redhouse, second by Ms. Culler. Any discussions? For conceptual design approval. So everybody's comfortable with that? No further discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Mr. Chairman, that was unanimous on that conceptual design. Next item on the agenda is adjournment. Motion made by.
Already got that motion.
And was seconded by Mr. Smith. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like